Best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. I'm going to do a quick video today. Got a lot of stuff to do around the house. I got carpet guys coming. I got yard work to do. I just laid down grass seed. You know, owning a house sucks. But you know what? I shouldn't say it because we are privileged to own a home. But I wanted to talk about the New York Giants and their offensive line. Everyone's worried about the offensive line. The offensive line woes are going to be causing the Giants massive difficulties here in the upcoming draft. And potentially it could. You can go out and get all the weapons you want in reference to protecting to making Daniel Jones a better quarterback by allowing him the offensive weapons he duly needs, which is great and all. That's fine. But if you cannot protect him and you cannot keep him upright, well, that's going to be an issue. That's going to be a problem. So I was thinking about it again today, and we did a video again about we did a video a little while ago about Orlando Brown Jr., of course, with the Baltimore Ravens. He wants out of Baltimore because of the fact that he wants to play left tackle. He wants to play left tackle badly, and they got Ronnie Staley over there. So Ronnie is not going anywhere. He was an all-pro left tackle in 19. He missed time in 2020 due to injury. Brown slid over to fill over for Stanley, and he performed extremely well. If you go by the Pro Football Focus, he was 76.5 score in relief duty of Stanley. I think he can more than capably man the left tackle or the right tackle position, but he wants to be a left tackle. Plain and simple. He came out on his, I think it was Twitter, his Zeus78 back in January and says, "I am a left tackle." All right. Here's my plan. I was thinking about this. You need bookend tackles. You do. And we have Andrew Thomas, and a lot of people are like, well, we need to go out and get Slater. Slater, who is a tackle and is being projected as a guard, I don't like. I think everyone knows that. But what if we did this? What if we slid our old buddy Andrew Thomas to the right side of the line, made him the right tackle, brought in Orlando Brown Jr., and made him the left tackle? Both fairly young, both in their early 20s. I think you would be solidifying the line if you keep under contract for like 10 years. I'm not saying it's going to be a Washington Hogs situation, but I think you could do that. Now, the big question everyone's going to say is, well, Brown is going to want to be paid like a left tackle, and the Baltimore Ravens are probably going to want to have large compensation. And I don't disagree with that. I think it's going to take a first rounder. I think it's going to take this first rounder. I think it's going to take the 11th overall pick. But stay with me for a second. I have a feeling if you sent the 11th overall pick, maybe a fourth rounder or a third rounder, and a second rounder in 2022 in exchange for Brown and their 27th pick in this year's draft, I think you could land Orlando Brown Jr. and then still have the capability to draft an edge rusher, because a lot of people are saying that either Phillips or even Mr. 305, is going to fall down, Gregory Rousseau. And if they fall down that far, or if they fall down to the bottom of the draft, or drop out of the first round, you could potentially solidify your offensive line, your tackles positions, and you could still pick up a potential impact edge rusher with the 27th overall pick. And yes, of course, you'd be sacrificing potentially a third or a fourth rounder and a second rounder. I understand that. But if you have the capability to lock down your offensive line for, let's say, 5 to 8 years in your tackle positions, and to me, the tackle positions are some of the most important positions on the offensive line. I think it takes, I'm not saying it takes less talent to play the guard position, but there is a reason why they pay tackles the way they pay them. Think about that, though. We would sacrifice 16 spots in the draft. But this draft is going to be wacky as it is, because you're probably going to have, like I said, tier 1 talent fall beyond 10. And then if you maintain your second round pick you could still draft a guard or a much needed linebacker. Or you could even go with a linebacker in the first round and then go guard in the second round. You may still even find a top flight receiver in the second or the fourth round. So the ability to make this move is interesting because of the fact that a lot of people will say, well, we're going to have to pay him. Yeah, you're going to have to pay Orlando Brown Jr. He's still under his rookie contract this year. Next year, that's a different story. But evidently, we don't care about the cap. We don't care. We don't care if that paycheck comes due one day, or that bill comes due one day. So why not just, if we feel that we can we can maneuver the cap in 2022, he would fit perfectly into the cap space into 2020. And if you do the same thing that they have been doing with their current contracts, paying more of a bonus and then pushing out the salary and the bonuses into year 2, 3, and 4, in 2023, we have over $100 million in cap space. It's just an interesting proposition, I think, that we could do this, solidify the line. Hopefully we'll have someone on the line that we can move into the guard position. You know, you still got Shane Lemieux. You could potentially take Nick Gates and move him over to a guard position, especially if Jonathan Harrison pans out. It would allow you to have you also still have. You could still keep Nate Solder as a swing tackle, basically as a backup between the left and the right tackle position. And you could potentially go out and find someone in the draft that you're enamored with at the left tackle position, at the guard position. And then you still have Matt from Connecticut. I love Matt. I mean, I like Matt. I don't love Matt. I like Matt. But Matt's going to have to progress. And then people are like, well, how can he progress if you have 2 bookend tackles? Well, move him to guard. Try him out at guard. Who the hell thought 100% that Nick Gates was going to be able to play center? Now, Nick Gates to me is not a center. I've never seen a center get as many holding penalties as Nick Gates did, but he has a toughness to him and he has a tenacity to him, but he is a mid-level talent. He is not an all-pro talent. But you don't need to have an all-pro talent on every single spot. This is not Madden. But I think the capability of potentially making a trade like this and then having the ability to move and have interchangeable moving pieces on the line would be perfect, would be second to none. And I think, like I said, you are going to sacrifice spots in the draft, but also you're going to save money on the salary cap by having the 27th pick instead of the 11th. You have Brown under his rookie contract. You extend him and you put the money out into 2023. You kind of do what you did with Leonard Williams and everyone. You give him smaller salary up front, bigger bonus, and extend the rest out during the bottom half of the contract towards the second year of the contract. You fixed your offensive line. You have your offensive weapons for Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones will no longer have any excuses because he will have an offensive line and he will have all of his weapons. I'm done. Start it, dude. Book it now. Make the trade. Again, this is Tim with OLine Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could please subscribe. If you're not playing anything, what it means, that'd be awesome.